What is up, Thrashers? Today I'm going to talk about the big four of German thrash metal, and you know what? I'm going to be honest about a few things. I love German metal, my favorite metal country altogether, but I prefer German power metal over everything else Germany does. Now, does that mean I dislike the German thrash? No, I don't. I actually really like the German thrash, but I personally prefer the American thrash metal, like the Bay Area thrash sound, just whatever. Um, to me, that is mainly where it's at because the German stuff is almost more taken their sound more to like almost a death metal extreme, and I'm not really much of a death metal guy at all. It's like I don't really listen to any death metal, so so that kind of like puts a little bit of a damper on my feelings towards a lot of German thrash. But you know, there's stuff that I really do like about German thrash, and their big four compared to like American thrash, it's kind of like one Anthrax and three Slayers. It's sort of, not entirely. That's just a little goofy way of describing it. I'm gonna start off talking about because I just listened to it. Sodom. Persecution Mania is my favorite Sodom album. It just has I really like the way it sounds. Like this is just a good way for a raw 80s thrash album to sound. It's fast. It's pretty simplistic for the most part, and I'm not like a super duper simplistic type of person, but I can dig it if it's done really really well. And here I think it is. This and Agent Orange, I think, are their best albums. Some of the earlier stuff, In the Sign of Evil's okay. Obsessed by Cruelty just sounds like garbage. I can't do that one at all. Um, and Better Off Dead, I think is what's called. I like that one okay. I haven't really explored much of these bands much past their 80s efforts just because when it comes to more extreme bands, I really just kind of like the old raw sound. I don't really like hearing this kind of metal in a digital form, you know, like in the digital age as much. I don't know. And a lot of these bands did some goofy things through the 90s, but didn't most of them. So I don't know. I just kind of stick with a lot of the old stuff. But yeah, and the vocals aren't my top favorite style. They're just a little monotone, but they're not bad. I mean, I can kind of get into them. I don't really care so much about what they're saying. It's not that. It's just does it add anything to the music? And I think it does. It works. One dimensional, but it works. So there's Sodom. Probably my maybe second favorite or tied for first favorite German thrash band, Creator. The reason why I feel like these guys have good, solid albums, even if some of them I can't listen to from beginning to end, like just because they just get a little too monotonous. Like the first couple albums, like you know, Pleasure to Kill and Endless Pain are good albums, but they do get a bit monotonous. I do kind of like how, you know, the drummer and the guitar player did back and forth vocals between each song. Like one song was Millie, next song was Ventor or whatever, next song was Millie, next song was Ventor again. I thought that was kind of neat, and I always kind of liked Ventor's voice more. I just did. I don't know, but Millie ended up being the main vocalist overall. But I don't know. This album right here is probably as extreme as like as Pleasure to Kill. I just think that the riffs here are more interesting. The riffs are nuts. The riffs are all over the place, and that's kind of what makes me favor this one over most other Creator albums. Extreme Aggression is good too, but I feel like this one's just crazier on a different level. And then after this, in Extreme Aggression, they did Coma of Souls, which, man, that one has the recipe to be my favorite Creator album, but it just doesn't, like the first track, When the Sun Burns Red, starts off so good. I'm like thinking, oh, this is going to be one of the best thrash albums, because that song's got everything. It's got melody, it's got craziness, it's got a good structure, and then it just, the rest of the album just feels like kind of bland and generic in comparison to the first song. I don't know. It just doesn't, the album doesn't follow through the same way, but the fact that these riffs are so crazy is the reason why I listen to this one more than any of them. And next, Destruction. I like Destruction, but, and I'm just holding up this box set that has like 4 different releases in one. I don't even know if I can pick a favorite Destruction album. I like these guys, but I like bits and pieces of things they do more so than I like one thing, like all together. Like, man, I would like to say Release from Agony is my favorite album because the first 2 tracks are so dang amazing, but then the rest of the album just, it's like you hear everything you want to hear off the first tracks, and I feel like I've got my fill. I don't know. I hate when bands do that to me. And I know I'm probably gonna get some hate. I'm not talking down about these bands. I like them. I'm just telling you, as a listener, you know, where I'm coming from. But no, I do like all these bands, and these are some great albums in here. I think Eternal Devastation was always kind of my favorite, if I had to pick one. Production's weird. I don't know, but I don't know. I like how they could be technical. Schmier has a pretty cool vocal style. I'll admit it's different. He's not real monotone like some of the other German thrash bands can kind of sort of be. He just kind of does a lot of nasty shrieks and stuff. I don't know. He just sounds different. Nobody really like him. So, but yeah, I don't know. I like Destruction. I just feel like I kind of pieced together what I like to listen to from them. You know, like a little bit of this album, a little bit of that album. But it might be my favorite German thrash band. I can't help it. And ironically, it's the Anthrax of Germany, Tankard, the goofier band. And usually I'm not into the goofy stuff as much. Like I don't do a lot of the crossover quite as much. Stuff like DRI. I mean, I like it. I just don't go as nuts over it. But this right here, man, these guys just have riffs. Like, dude, like imagine something with the intensity of like Rain and Blood, or like even like some Razor, Violent Restitution, but give it kind of like a punkish type of feel. And you kind of got Tankard. I don't know, like, and you know, a lot of people say they just sing about beer and getting drunk, but to be honest with you, it's a little more than that. It's kind of like the same way people look at Running Wild and think, well, they just sing about pirates, and they actually do not. They sing about lots of other things, but Tankard's kind of like that too. I think they get a bad rep just from people thinking that they're not very serious, and you know, they don't take themselves. I mean, look at the album cover. I mean, you know, The Morning After, you got a guy with a hangover. I mean, it's goofy thrash, but they're really good, man. Give them a chance. And the vocals, I like more than most of the German thrash because he's got a big range. He's really got a lot of, really like a really charismatic type of singer. Like, I don't know, like he's just really into it. I don't know. I just kind of like that sort of thing. I don't like monotone. I like something that wakes me up, not something that just makes me just, I don't know. I don't like vocals that are just there because they feel like they have to be there. You know what I mean? Like, make it add something to the music, please, at least. But I don't know, man, Tankard, and even like their 90s stuff, like they kind of were doing some different things. They got a little bit more melodic, weren't as thrashy, but still thrashy, but they were like kind of getting a little more like melodic with it. It was really weird, but good stuff though. Um, but their old stuff, I mean, some of their old stuff can kind of get a little boring. I mean, some stuff off like Chemical, was it Chemical? It's Chemical Invasion. Chemical Invasion, yeah, that one can get a little bit boring at times if you sit through it all the way. But I don't know. Good stuff, though. Good stuff. So there we have it. There's my German thrash explanation and picks. And yes, this is my favorite Tankard album. I love some German thrash. I just think the American thrash is a little more up my alley. But Germans with power metal like blow me away. And there's something else Germans have that they excel at, and that's speed metal. Anything that says German and speed metal under it is usually amazing. Like the first Angel Dust album, Iron Angel, Hellish Crossfire. I mean, freaking Death Row. I don't know, Grinder. Like the first Grinder album. That stuff is so good. I prefer that kind of stuff more than I do a lot of the German thrash. I don't know why. I just do. But that's me. And, oh, Vendetta. That's another good one. I love Vendetta. But yeah, I don't know. But that's my picks. And if you like this video, like, subscribe, stay metal, and till next time.